Now, this is a new podcast in a new studio.
A nice studio.
A new man. Not in that way. Not in that way. Totally sus. No, but like the whole idea of this podcast was genuinely because of like, I love you and I've known you for about 2.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
We both roughly started stand-up at the exact same time. I think I might be 6 months ahead of you.
Right, give or take, yeah.
Something like that. And we always talk at every gig, but I literally know nothing about you.
Yeah, weirdly. I don't know how that's actually how that's happened.
Well, I was this is how basically the idea had stemmed. Lewis, who I do the Files podcast with, right? The other day he told me a story and I went, I should know that. I went, I'm literally your best friend.
Yeah.
And I went, and I don't know anything about you.
I think that's the thing with guys' friendships, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, say I talk to my bird, she knows everything about her pals, and then she'll say, "Oh, so what does your mate do?" And I'm like,
Not her thing.
Drugs. It's like,
and that's factually accurate. I do a lot of drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
So technically, you do know everything about me.
There we go. That's the show, guys. Good
Yeah,
night.
that's us. No, but like, so with your accent,
Aye.
like it's crazy, mate. Like, it's like you sound like you want to take milk away from people.
I do sound like the most Tory bastard comedian.
Yeah.
Which is, I could not be doing comedy in a worse city to have my accent, man.
Do you genuinely get a lot of shit for that?
Mate, all I ever get is Glasgow uni, which is worse because I've not been to Glasgow.
You'd rather be a Tory
uni
than a tender.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, I don't know, there seems to be this thing in Glasgow where if you don't have a Glaswegian accent, but you're Scottish, you just sound like you're from Glasgow uni. And I'm so uneducated, it's fucking unbelievable.
Oh, mate, I'm the same. Like,
yeah.
No chance. I'm borderline retarded. I could never go there. But, so that accent, where does that originate from?
So I'm originally from a wee town called Canusie, which is up by Aviemore, which I always have to explain to people from Glasgow if they don't know. It's near Inverness, so in the Highlands.
And Avimore's the place with the very beautiful beaches.
Beautiful beaches, nice skiing.
Skiing?
Skiing, yeah. We got
on sand?
Yeah.
Well, not that cold in Scotland, mate.
No, it's it's a nice area to grow up in. It's not that populated, but there isn't much work. So I think eventually you do end up having to leave, which is how I've kind of one of the many reasons I've ended up in Glasgow.
But so what is the work that is in there?
It's all touristy stuff. So I used to work up there's a restaurant called the Ptarmigan that's at the top of the Cairngorm Mountain.
Ptarmigan.
So it's almost like a railway train that goes up into it, and it's like it's like a big restaurant thing.
It's for autistic people.
It's basically it's fantastic. Yeah, it's a train, it's a tunnel on a mountain.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
And given the evidence, that's arguably a terrible thing for people. Like a train going into a tunnel. There's been 2 things that have happened with trains and tunnels where everybody's like, whoa.
I like it's this level of podcast. We could use the R slur and we can talk about
I don't even know if we can. It's probably getting edited out as we speak. But
we're just gonna beep random things.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, it works.
No, fuck it. But no, like, but that's the point. Like, and it is like so in this town, you're meaning like touristy. So like, where would you get the train? Is it picking you up from where you arrive to then go to this restaurant?
Basically, so you go there and it's up like it's a proper big massive mountain, and then it's almost like this kind of trams and like you get in Edinburgh, but it goes directly straight up a mountain. So it's a nice area to grow up in, but unless you're really really into skiing, there is very limited jobs. So you do end up. Most people don't end up staying there. It's a nice place to visit, but also it's fucking expensive and full of
Would you
tourists.
say it's like one of those places where you essentially would love to retire?
You'd love to retire if you had the money for it,
Yeah.
but I don't have the money for it. That's
Where
why.
you and I are going because they were stand-up comics and we can't truly love anybody except stand-up comedy. You and I and the rest of the comedy bros are going to go there and retire. And with the amount of artistic people in comedy, we're going to love that train.
I love the idea that we just totally turn the place on its head. Just make it an autistic fucking utopia.
It's actually Disneyland for autistic people, man. Mate, that could be some market they're missing up there. That's a lot of jobs.
It's beautiful.
And given the amount of tests that are getting like passed now, man, I'm telling you. But like, so see, growing up in that town, did you feel quite alienated from the world?
Yeah. You know, it's a weird thing where being from a small town, I think there is genuinely, it's odd because everyone knows you. There is kind of limited opportunities. It's not that it's not a great place, but Well, we have one nightclub. We have a nightclub
You
called...
have a nightclub?
We have a nightclub. It's called The Vault. Shout out to The Vault.
The Vault? I mean, it must be some crazy shit in there.
The Vault is kind of like a mixture between like the Savoy and a Weatherspoons, and it's probably about 5 times the size of this room. It's this tiny, tiny little place, but everyone goes, and The Vault is terrible. I don't mind that.
Well, I was going to say, the places you have described are literally hell.
Yeah, it's awful. I know I'm not going to get sponsored by The Vault here for this, but I mean, it's a terrible place, but because it's the only club, everyone goes there. I've always said it's the only place you'll see 3 generations of the same family share 1 gram of coke.
And person.
And
Usually a sibling. Is it quite incestual? Because I always think that with these little places, like, because I'm so, like, sometimes I find my cousin attractive and I already know a lot of people, so I can't imagine knowing less people and not being attracted to my cousin.
The thing is, there's a little bit of incest. I won't say the name for legal reasons, but a guy my mum went to school with, his parents are our brother and sister, and he is exactly what you think that would. He's just like, he just slavers. Everyone from Aviemore will know who this man is, but he just slavers all the time. He's screaming. He became notorious because he got kicked out of a bar years ago, and he was a lumberjack. And when they wouldn't serve him, he left and came back and tried to cut the bar in half with a chainsaw. So that is the dangers of inbreeding.
Do you mean that, like...
As in, just the bar where everyone's drinks where he came in with the chainsaw.
That is
and
quite literally the plot to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Basically, yeah.
Like
With
some
chukter
big
accents.
fucking freak show turns up with a chainsaw with an incestual family.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically what you're saying is some cunt went to Aviemore and went, we're creating the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Basically, yeah. I'm dad.
Matthew McConaughey's loving it in that, man.
I don't go up north much, and I've realised why, because I'm going to get my cunt kicked in outside the vault for all these
No,
stories.
these small towns, like, of course we're comics, we're going to bat a million jokes about it, but I don't actually find my cousin attractive due to the fact she's ugly. If she was attractive, I would be into her. But other than that, she's quite ugly. But like, I think that we're being in like such a small town, people forget like the comfort of community.
Yeah.
So from coming from such a close, I would say, I'm not
close knit community. Yeah.
Would you say that is what they are?
Yeah, I think there's like a thing where people look out for each other. Everyone kind of knows everyone. Mm-hmm. It's generally quite a low crime rate. I mean, it's a nice little area to, like, if you fall asleep in a bus stop, someone will find you and take you home. You know, it's quite nice in that sense.
You're not getting diddled.
Yeah, probably not getting diddled.
Of all the places,
I've passed in a lot of places, so I could have been diddled many times. But you know,
by me, yes,
by you. That's how I've ended up here. I don't remember actually coming to the studio today.
No, this hasn't even happened. Of all the places to get diddled, but in it, like the bus stop's the worst place. I mean, you're just trying to get home. Like I would prefer getting home to get diddled. You know what I mean? Because it's like warmth and like there's a bit of comfort in the diddling.
Well, at least you have like a clear escape route if you get, you know, diddled at a bus stop.
Exactly. There's a bus roughly coming soon.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, if you get diddled in your house, it's like, all right, I'll just sit in my own.
Okay, your argument's better.
Piss and
I just
sweat.
thought I sometimes like when I got touched when I was a kid, I preferred it being inside and warm. Right. Good factual evidence and true of that. Are you an only child?
I've got a half brother who's actually like a proper Glaswegian, fake Clydebank, but he grew up in Glasgow and I grew up north. So basically, only child I.
Right, but were you just like? Did you just grow up with your mum then, or?
I know, just with me mum and me dad. So dad's Glaswegian, my mom's from Aviemore.
Right, and
So,
did your dad have a partner after or before?
So he was married to a woman beforehand. So my brother is, you know how old my brother is. I think my brother's in his mid to late 30s now.
Nice.
But yeah, actually, really just the three of us growing up, and it's a nice area. I mean, Canusie itself, where I'm from, there's 1,200 people. There's 3 pubs and 1 co-op and a cafe. I mean, there's nothing.
Why is it
there.
always a co-op? Like it's always a fucking co-op in these places.
Maybe because we're too middle class to have like a Lidl or something.
But Lidl's the shit, mate.
I know I like Lidl.
But you would think like being middle class, you go right, and M&S is out here.
M&S. That's pushing it a little bit.
Well,
I feel.
You try to tell me motherfuckers...
Get a Waitrose in
no,
there.
you try to tell me motherfuckers can afford a Co-op more than an M&S.
Okay, that's fair.
M&S have got like a shit ton of two for land deals and shit, you know?
I wasn't asked my opinion when when the place was being built.
Should have been, mate.
Should have been. Well, there's only 3 pubs in that town, and I'm banned from, I think, 2 of them. I'm not sure. If the pubs in Canusie could get hold of me and let me know if my ban is finished.
So, growing up in quite a town, right, that, like, in fact, before that, were you aware that you had a half-brother when growing up, or was this recent?
No, I was aware of Mikey.
Did he often visit, or...?
Sometimes, I think... The thing is, because he was older than me when I really hung out with him, he was a teenager. And the thing is, Glasgow's great if you're a teenager. See, up north, when you're 16, you can't get into the pubs and there's nothing else to do apart from drugs in fields, really. So
holy shit, man, I'm moving.
Yeah, I'm moving. That's it.
It's dead weird when you get like what age are you now?
29.
Right, you're 20, so you're only a year older than me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I don't know what age it was where I started to look at nightclubs and just go, "This fucking sucks."
I think I started doing that a couple of years ago because I realised, I think when you start going to clubs when you're like 18, 19, it's exciting because it's new, but you also still feel kind of like a kid.
Yeah.
And then there's that kind of period where it's all right, and now I'm like, I'm not paying £5 for a vodka to listen to music I don't like amongst sweaty people. Also, I'm at that kind of age now where people will look at me and they go, "You're too old to be here."
Yeah. I also don't understand the appeal of nightclubs when it comes to you are literally witnessing crimes 24/7.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
mate, guys and girls are just feeling up everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yes, these are sex crimes everywhere. And I'm just looking about me and I'm like, I need to go home, man. Like, it's just too much.
Is it getting too tempting for you?
I might jump in and join one of these bros. No, and that's because I was in polo at the time. No, but I don't know if it is. It's like, it's a weird thing when I go to them. I'm like looking at it now and it pure sounds like I'm a dead old guy. I'm not even 30 yet, but like I just look at it and I go, oh, fuck, man. Like, if I actually did have a child, I would murder everyone in here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if they went near them.
It's why I've stopped working kind of normal clubs now because I'm just not a fan of the kind of atmosphere. That's why, like, I spent recently, over the last few years, I've worked in like things like strip clubs and things like that because there's actually very clear rules around that. So therefore, it's a lot more controlled as opposed to a nightclub, which is a bit of a free-for-all. If you've been to the Savoy on a Sunday, I mean, it's...
crazy.
It's everyone's either too old to be in there, too young to be in there. Half of them want to fuck you, half of them want to fight you, and everyone's on cocaine.
Everyone, like all of them.
Not getting a sponsorship from the Savoy at any point either.
No. Arguably, we're getting all of those people from Savoy coming through that door. Like, two scrappers. Right, so you've grown up. What is the relationship then? Like, are you more a mummy's boy or a daddy's kind of boy? Like, what more are you kind of saying? Mate, because I know for a fact, like, I am, like, it's dead weird, right? I've became a mummy's boy since, like, in the past 10 years because my dad died.
Okay.
So it's quite a weird transition. So, like, prior to that, I would be going to my dad for everything. Like, when it came to, like, pretending I had emotions. And, no, but, like, you know, like, anything that came to, like, emotional or general shit you would go to a parent, I would go to my dad. But then I had to learn to become a mummy's boy when he passed. Because it was just her and I.
Still no other option you had.
So it was as if like learning to become my mum was learning to become a mum again, and I was learning to become a son again. So it was quite weird, like that. So what were you then? I
thought I was probably close to my mother, but as I've so my mother now has dementia, so she's
sorry about that, bro.
yeah, it happens. But she now doesn't know she has a child anymore. I think she's got the mind of it when she was about 16 or 18, and I think she's 67, 68. So I don't know. I think you get to this stage where I was quite close with my family growing up, but as I've over the last maybe 3-4 years, I just don't really speak to either of them anymore.
Because your mum keeps forgetting the convos.
Yeah, I was going to say, aye. There's only so much I can go, "You're that tenner you owe me," aye. You're that tenner you owe me, aye.
As sad as it is, right, the comic in me is like...
throw the jokes.
No, but of all the years to like live through, 16 and 18, the worst fucking years, mate.
That'd be fucking like, terrible, wouldn't it?
I can't remember. Do I need a jump in on that? You know what I mean? Like, she's gone through all these weird scenarios and like... Mate, when I was 16 and 18, I was unbelievably uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
even like, I mean, I'm uncomfortable with it now. You know what I mean? Never mind then.
It was worse back then.
Like, think about it, like, mate, like that was your crucial time for puberty, relationships, first sexual experience, first going out, alcohol, all this shit, and all of them are horrendous. All of them. So that's all she remembers, and all she has to
Being
relive.
trapped now, that's like a horrible Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I know. What would be your worst Groundhog Day, do you think?
Oh.
Like, what's the worst day you think you've had where you go, fuck, I cannot believe I lived that. I could never do it again.
I've had so many bad days. Just almost all of them just being because of me. I'm just trying.
Yeah, like, I love how, would you say you are like, because I know slights of stories, right? Would you say like you're quite an honest guy to go, I hold my hands up, it's been me a lot?
Yeah, I think I'm quite an honest guy in that sense, but also I think when I tell my stories, it would be very hard for me to lie convincingly that it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, after the story, you'd be like, yeah, Roger, you're a fucking idiot. That was your fault. I'm like, yeah. I'm just trying to think.
Mine was when my dad died. That was pretty horrific.
That's up there. Yeah.
I remember when we did the Fudgy, like we were on Fudgy's podcast, and obviously a lot of them was the first time meeting me.
Yeah.
So like Robin, you both know what I'm like.
Aye.
And I'm obviously making all these obviously uncomfortable moments.
Yeah.
And loads of people are looking going, anyway. You know what I mean? I just love doing that shit.
Well, no, I think with your style of comedy, I think the problem is because you are so honest, people are like, am I allowed to laugh? But of course you are.
Yeah.
You're a comedian. You got a microphone in front of you. You are allowed to, you know.
Yeah, that is a thing that before we get back to your worst day and analysing more you, but that is one thing that I have really learnt a lot about within stand-up. Is because it's very cheesy as it sounds. You do have to find yourself again to allow yourself to speak on stage more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because you have to be more like, you have to be so vulnerable for them to like you, for you to actually make them laugh. And it's so weird because as comics, it's like, it's very difficult for us to actually be vulnerable.
Yeah, because you're on stage in front of people that I think also comedy's a strange one in the sense that if someone was to go on and do some music, play the guitar, sing, something like that, even if you weren't the person performing on stage, it wasn't your style of music, if they were good at it, you still clap, you still appreciate the fact of, like, I don't like jazz, but if I was in a bar, it was a jazz bar, I'd applaud. With comedy, it's one of these things where if you're not someone's taste, they just don't, you'd think you're just generally bad at
You're
it.
fucked. Aye.
Yeah. I think it's the only one where, like, someone goes up and sings, they go, at least they tried. Or someone stepped in a ring and gets knocked out straight away, they go, he's brave enough to get in there. He's getting in front of a stand-up mic. They go, this dickhead thought he was funny enough to get up here. It's a really, the risk to reward ratio is so fucking wild.
There's a really weird thing that Neil Brennan talks about. He talks about stand-up comics are the only people who, like, along with kind of like army people, etc., who learn to train their nervous system.
Okay.
So, well, you think about it, before we go on stage, and I don't give a fuck who it is, the anxiety and the nervousness is overbearing. That every time before you go on that, we train our nervous system to relax.
Yeah.
And obviously doing that to your nervous system is very damaging.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because it's meant to be alert. It's meant to know, when things are coming.
And you're trying to dull it.
You're trying to train it to be like, stop panicking all the time. Like, stop it. Like, relax the nervous system. And it's like, no, you should be alert here. Like, all the time. Because
you're
fucking...
in an unusual situation with many
crazy,
eyes
mate.
on you. Yeah.
And once I heard that, man, I was like, oh, fuck, no wonder, like, my stomach's gone. Like, completely.
Aye.
Because I was like, I'm a nervous wreck all the time. I told David McIntosh this. I was like, I meditate every day before, like, every day I go to do a gig.
Okay. I wouldn't expect that from you. You don't give me the meditation.
Well, that's the point in this
vibes,
pod. Like, not a lot of people know, like, what we all do before it. Like, my routine before, like, I'm talking, like, I'm not even on the magnitude of, like, what's the most I've done? 400 odds with Mark at
What was
Classic
that?
Grands.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not doing that every night. Like, we vast majority of the time, we're doing open mics to test new stuff and try it out before we go audition for clubs, basically.
Yeah, aye.
And that level of, like, trying to train your nervous system for even that, never mind the magnitude of, see, the nerves I had, mate, for Mark was unbearable.
I can't actually imagine. No.
Mate, literally on the day I sat, and it's really weird because I get in a weird state of I'm very afraid to be alone in my brain, but I have to be in a silent meditative state to be able to do the thing I love the most.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, so you don't like the quietness of
I can't stand it.
Your mind, but also if you were to surround yourself with other things, you wouldn't be able to focus enough on it.
And it's such a bit, it's like a mental battle all the time.
Yeah.
And that was like one thing that we had learnt from each other just kind of recently was that we both attend therapy.
Yeah, aye.
And a lot of people looking at us, for the audio listeners, Roger looks like he beats his wife right? all the time.
A little, I do look like, I see a reflection of myself. Today in particular, I do,
yeah. But you're like you're like the more redneck version of Post Malone.
Yeah, I'll take. I will take that.
But like that's something I learned from you, and I have recommended. I was like to every comic to go to therapy because the job we do alone is very bipolar. Because you like. We're training our nervous systems. We're trying to regulate our emotions so we don't fucking have a suicide attempt.
Yeah.
Because constantly, like we're on stage, even when you do really well, you have to come off and try and comprehend the normality of the world from the thing you've just done.
Uh-huh.
And then when you bomb, it's like my life's over because the thing I love the most is dead.
Yeah. I think that's the thing as well. I think on the unusual parallels is a lot of people in therapy. You've got to learn to do, not for everyone, but you've got to do things for you, not so things. A lot of people are people pleasers, and I think I'm one of them. So one of the things that I'm just really bad at, that's why everyone hates me.
Yeah, gotta say, man, you've never done anything for no, but even at that, like, so this is how I know you are. Before the podcast, you phoned me to go, by the way, I'm just making sure you're okay to let you know when I am coming, so you're secure with that. Would you like something to drink?
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't do that. Because my artistic mind doesn't think that.
You got a one-track kind of mind, I like that.
I'm like, right, we've got a job, we're going.
That sounds a better way, but I think one of the things.
No, yours is well better because like it's more caring.
To an extent, but also can be to my own detriment. But the weird thing is, a lot of like my therapy is trying not to be a people pleaser. But then the comedy side is going on stage and basically going, please like me.
So how are you battling with that in therapy?
Badly. No, I don't know. I think it's weird because you do have to be vulnerable, as you say, on stage. But also there is that thing of you do have a persona to an extent. So it's weird. It's have that persona of yourself up there, but also while staying vulnerable. It's like it's kind of a duality that battles.
Yeah,
that was the deepest sounding thing I've ever said.
Like, the thing is as well, it's like that fucking must be so difficult for you because you like. I assume your therapist is saying don't be a people pleaser when it comes to situations that are damaging you. I assume.
Yeah, aye.
She's meaning like be a people pleaser to of course like nurture care for like the people.
Yeah, aye.
But you're ripping the cunt because somebody's was saying something mental and you're going. Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah,
do you think that's where a lot of your problems stemmed then from when you're younger?
Potentially, actually, aye. I don't know. I think there's that inherent need to be liked. I think if you grow up almost as an only child, I think if you grow up with multiple siblings, it's less because you don't people please with your siblings as much. You kind of battle with them to an extent.
For attention.
Yeah, for attention, but also you live with them. You won't. You grow up like, fighting over toys or fighting over attentions like that. So I think as an only child, maybe it's more common to be a people pleaser because you don't almost have built-in friends like you do as siblings. Like if you have siblings, I think you almost have your built-in friends of your pals with your brother, your pals with your sister. While as an only child, maybe you do try and get people to like you more because you don't have that kind of set kind of family dynamic.
Mm-hmm. No, I get what you're saying.
But
so do you recall the first time when you kind of were cognitive of being a people pleaser?
I think probably primary school kind of time in that. I think I was desperate for people to like me, so that's why I always tried to be funny. But I think that's the traditional class clown kind of trope, isn't it?
Every single comic is like, whether it be female, male, non-binary, anything, like you ask any of them, it's always the same thing. It's like, I hated school, so I fucked around.
Yeah, basically.
And was a bit of a class clown.
Yeah, I was fucking terrible in school. I remember, so in my final year of high school, I did 6 year. everyone would always post like, I got 2 A's and 2 B's and 2 C, whatever. I did fine in 5th year, and then in 6th year, I remember thinking it'd be really, really funny to fail everything. So when you could post like, hey, I failed everything, so I did
amazing.
almost everything on purpose. When it's geography, I was just bad at. So when I put up failed everything, I thought, big laugh. Everyone was just highly concerned. Everyone was like,
this guy is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, what are you gonna do, mate? You know, it's like, oh mate, I'm so sorry to hear. I remember going, it's like, because it's bad when you do a 5-minute set on stage and it bombs. I did basically a year's work.
I just bombed
for one joke. And not only did it bomb, I'm like, I now have no qualifications.
But it's like, so I'll use it. This is so funny. It's nowhere near the dynamic as due to the fact you fucked your future.
Yeah,
right?
entirely.
Whereas I just did it on the night.
Yeah,
I was okay. Right? I hosted. I've been having a lot of medical issues, right? So I had to take like a wee bit off, just a wee bit, and by my standards, a wee bit's like a week.
Yeah,
I can't go any longer.
You're very active.
Cannot go any longer. Have to be militant and on the ball with it. And I have nothing else. And I don't have any other commitments. Like, relationships don't exist for me anymore. Like, nothing. I just want to be a comedian. That's all I want.
Well, it's streamlined your experience, I think, which is a big advantage.
But it's, I'll tell you that story in a second, but it's very damaging, of which I've learnt in therapy.
Okay.
Very damaging because it's, well, you think about it, you go, yeah, you're giving everything to, like, towards your dream. But then you're going, yeah, when you get the dream, like, who's there? Like, who's there with you?
Yeah.
Kind of celebrate. And obviously, that's my main thing. Like, I want to bring all you guys, but, like, I love you personally and I love you professionally, but this is the main aim for this podcast. Personally, we don't hang out. I don't really know you.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I wanted to do this, because I don't want the relationship just to be professional, because my personal life has been massively affected by stand-up due to the fact all my friends now are comics or MMA fighters, people who have been in stuff that I want to pursue. I don't have any old friends. I don't have any school friends because of this.
Do you hang out with, so see outside of podcasting and performing, but do you hang out with these people outside of which? Like,
yeah, but that's what I mean. But everything I talk about
and
everything we do revolves around making it.
Yeah.
Like, comedy. And it's weird. It's as if I manipulated my life to do that. And it is because I did alienate everybody. Like, I alienated my ex-girlfriend. I alienated my ex-friends. I was over-obsessive. And I am. Like, that's something I learned in therapy. Once I have something, everything's gone.
Yeah.
And it's not a nice
thing. You get the blinders on, and that's the only kind of target.
It really prevents a lot of general happiness for me and relationships because of that.
I think it's a double-edged sword for you, though, obviously, because the thing is, it does mean you get to focus a lot more on your career. You're more passionate about it, and there are less distractions. But as you said, in the situation you were to make it, you don't get to share it with other people.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think all people of kind of greatness in any kind of aspect, you do have to sacrifice to some extent. But it feels like you've almost sacrificed the things such as social life, romantic relationships in its entirety.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can't get a girlfriend. I can't be in a relationship.
What do you mean by can't?
Currently, due to my circumstances of the level I am at, where I want to be, it is impossible for someone to come in and...
You just don't have a room?
I don't, and it causes distraction.
Okay.
And I am, so when I'm in a relationship, like... I can be really attentive when I need to be. Like, how the way I am with comedy, jokes, like hyperfixate on trying to get the most out of some bit, and then I get really upset if somebody doesn't laugh or another comic tries to give me another angle, and that's just my ego. Like, I know my ego gets really hurt because I love the thing, but then that's the thing. So when in relationships, if a woman like goes, "Why are you editing a video at fucking 3:30 at night when I'm trying to sleep?"
You feel she's getting in the way of the process.
They are.
Yeah.
It's really weird because currently I don't have the freedom to allow to take that time off to be like, let's do this, because we're so early on in the career.
Yeah.
There's two ways you kind of look at it. You go, I either need to be a bit kinder to myself because I am so earlier on, or I need to work extremely harder because I am so earlier on Do you know what I mean by that?
Do you think that if there was, would you like there to be more room for a potential, something like a romantic partner if it was the right person? Or do you prefer right now there isn't room, so it allows you to focus if you got to choose? Because right now you don't really have a choice.
No, because I'm ginger and ugly. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I was going for, yeah.
Well, too serious. We had to crack some
Yeah,
jokes. No,
really.
but it's a thing that my therapist keeps saying. It's like, so I have a really weird obsession with the idea of love.
Okay, interesting.
The idea of love and emotions, feelings are very difficult for me to comprehend.
Okay.
So because I have got complex PTSD and then potential, which is definitely autism.
Okay, yeah.
Because obviously I've sent away the test to get the test, but it takes such a long period of time. But the amount of people that have came up to me and the amount of things that I do who are autistic go, you do everything we do.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, all adds up. And because of finding out those two things, and one of the difficult things that I have to kind of accept is like, the best way to describe it is, right, that's how I feel, right, is when I get my newborn baby, right, I need to look at you, like I need to look at another person to go, that's the emotion I need now.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm allowed to feel that this has to come out here.
It's like a learned behaviour.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's fascinating, actually.
Because I usually, my go-to is numb. Like I usually don't feel. But then what I realised was that I am very emotional, but I need something to kind of spark it to allow me to be it.
Do you almost need
weird.
to see other people express that emotion to understand that you're in
Have you ever
a place or a time that you can? Or is it or socially acceptable?
It's a bit of a mix. I need to feel safe
Yes.
to be allowed to feel.
Yeah.
And then, like, have you ever watched me in a train?
I've never watched you
No,
on a
but I'm
train.
saying you should. Like, my eyes go nuts because I'm looking at so many emotions. I don't know how to comprehend it.
Okay.
It's very difficult. So, like, when I went to London, I was basically nearly spazzing out because I'm like, there's so many people, so many emotions, and like, I need to. It's dead weird. I need to have a day to myself, right? My mum doesn't really like this, but I need to have a day to myself where all I do is nothing. Like I don't have any emotional contact because it's very draining to be able to like.
You're overstimulated, so you
all the
almost
time.
So obviously being around people, doing things, seeing different places, that's going to do that. So you almost I feel that, I get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need time to do nothing.
Yeah, but not feeling it either. Like
Yeah.
it's because it's so tiring, like mentally, because I'm actively obviously having to read people and go.
You don't naturally pick up on emotions like
No.
an average person, let's say.
No, but I'm I'm learning, and that's the thing that I've learnt from therapy is to learn to be. It's okay to feel. You should be able to feel
Yeah.
because like emotions are beautiful. Like very fucking like the feelings we have for like one another when we see each other do great at something.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's love.
With comedy, I think that's one of the things that is the nicest. See, when you see a friend of yours that's very nervous or is quite new to it,
Yeah.
or they're trying out a new bit they really weren't sure of, and it goes down really well, and you hear the audience reaction and you see the reaction on their face, that's nice. It's nice because I think also to the extent, well, you'll understand that quite well because as a comedian that's gone on stage and tried new jokes, and when they've landed, you know exactly what the person on the stage feels. So you can really empathise with that and you go, I remember how good that feels. I'm glad this happened to one of my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, I think there's a very shitty narrative that is either being created or it's just a natural thing because there's so much mental illness in stand-up.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is
like
really quite funny in a strange way.
So this is going to sound weird to you and it will sound bizarre to Robin. So before you and I had even had a conversation,
Yeah.
I did the very shitty thing of assumptions.
Uh-huh.
So you went on stage, did your shit.
Where was this? This is Tulsa when we first met.
It would have been Tenants where we first met. That's where we...
It was Tenants, yeah.
In... I usually die on my arse in Tenants because I'm just trying all new stuff. But even, like, I have this really... So back to that story, this is what sums up that story.
Okay.
There was a guy in the crowd that looked like Rick Glassman. During Thomas, Stu and Pierce's show.
Yeah.
And I was hosting it because I'm so ill and I'm just angry and I don't feel good and I get shooting pains in my stomach, man. I obviously go up there and I'm not my usual silly, cheeky self.
Aye.
Like what you kind of need to be for like my style of humour. So I just sound like an arsehole the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
The delivery is very important for how it's
majorly. But
taken.
This is the thing. Like, a lot of people forget that is like Pierce came over to me because I felt so terrible. Because then when I went and did the second show for them, like, I was myself and I was militant. I was like, I'm going to be on form for these cunts.
Yeah.
Make sure it's a fucking show for them. And but that was the thing. Like, Pierce turned round and he was like, you need to remember, like, you are a human. He says you're going to be sick, you're going to have emotions, like, you're going to feel anger, like, and sometimes a fucking crowd needs to, like, learn that. Like,
yeah,
you went up there and didn't tell him that you were in pain, you still did the job, but you're fucked. And I think that's a lot of things, like, I'm trying to be a bit kinder to myself, and a lot of comics have to genuinely do that, because it's so fucking, like, for how obsessed I am and how, but you're just harsh all the time. Like, even like after I did that Mark gig, nothing. I was like, back to tenants on Monday, writing. You know what I mean? I didn't even.
You didn't take a moment to enjoy it.
You never. But I feel as always, because they stand up so instant, we don't. Because we need instant gratification. So once that thing's done, it's like, what's next?
Yeah.
That thing's done. What's next? Do you feel that?
I did the stand recently. I've been wanting to do the stand for a couple of years, and I finally got and did the Red Raw, and it went pretty well, and really enjoyed it. And
Some
then
viral clips, check them out.
Yeah, I did a Gaza Strip joke, and I was really concerned that people would be really mad at me because a woman started screaming at me during the break about it. And then I put it on TikTok, and I was like, I hope no one notices the Gaza Strip joke. And then every comment is just, oh, that fucking Glasgow uni accent. I was so tempted to just comment, anyone get offended by the Gaza Strip joke? Someone just went, a Gaza Strip accent's better than your pure shite accent. I'm like, what's a Gaza Strip accent? Just screaming then silence.
Aye, just silence. Nothing, because they're all dead.
Gunshots in the distance.
Yeah, a lot.
This is going to annoy people more than the original
Typical,
joke.
mate. That, like, I always tell people this, like, and I don't know what it is, right? This is the definition of a comic, right? And this is what I always say, right? If I seen an old woman fall in the middle of the road, my first reaction is, haha. But then I'll go pick her up.
Yeah.
Whereas a normal human being goes, I better go pick that woman up.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's all we do. We're just trying to see a wee bit of light side, and then we'll help you.
Yeah, well, you still get some enjoyment. I'm sure that's the better way.
Yeah, it's
the
point. It's the point. It's like, I'll make you ha-ha, but then I'll go, no, it's obviously fucked
You
up.
not laughing isn't going to unbreak her hip.
No.
Yeah.
Me laughing will cure her broken hip. No, right, you grow up, small area.
Yeah.
Where do we did massive tangents on this show. I've just talked
it works.
A lot of emotional pish. So I'll go back, sorry, I keep fucking tangent. I will have this show scripted better next time. Right, but so the first time I had met you, and this is something I learnt about myself, I'm not as supportive as I think.
Okay, in what way?
I didn't like you doing better than me.
At what, Tenants? Did I do better than you?
Mental, aye. No, not mental that you did better than me, mental that I...
No, I just don't remember doing better than you.
No, and it was the same with Robin. So I went on, and I'm sometimes I feel like grabbing a crowd, because that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to learn this craft and learn what the fuck you want to laugh at, right?
Yeah.
I just went up, just died horrendously, mate. I wasn't my usual self. I'm being too angry.
Yeah.
It's once my emotions aren't intact for stand-up, I'm fucked. I don't meditate if I don't calm my fucking mind.
If all your ducks aren't in a line, the whole thing kind of falls down.
And then you go up, very good looking guy, tattooed, everything I want to be. No, but you go up, you do the job that I wanted to do that night.
Okay.
And I instantly just go, oh, well, it's because he's fucking tattooed, good looking, and these stupid fucking lassies liked him. I went like that. No, he was just funnier. Yeah. That was it. He was funnier on the night. Yeah.
Well, see, I don't remember what jokes I remember the first time meeting you. I think the problem with stand-up is the fact of, let's say hypothetically I did better on that night, because I do not. Okay, well, so
that's why. No, but that's me. I just had to admit that to you to go.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
No, it's something I realised. I was like, as much as I go, I love the bros. I want them to succeed, and I genuinely do.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, but at the same time, you were also being a bit of a bitter bastard.
Yeah. I think it's. I don't think you should be too harsh on yourself for that, because I think that's part of human emotion. I think it's... I was about to say you'll relate to this, but you are super autistic, so maybe not. But like, see when you're 18 or 19, and you go with the boys to a club, the vault.
Call back.
But like, you know, and you're all trying to like bring a bird home. You'll have some of your mates that are just like, you know, they're 6'4" and they're smooth and they actually have like beards that connect and not terrible mustaches. And you're happy your mate got his hole, but there's a bit of you that goes, it'd be nice if I could also get my hole. Well, so I think there's that natural little bit of competition.
The comedy equivalent is like, he did really well there. I wish I could do really well there too.
You know what it is? I brought a fat chick home, all right, and you ended up masturbating. Just that one night, though. That's fine.
No, I know, but it was the same with Robin when I first met him. He did like 4 rape jokes on the bat. And it might just be...
You were like, you're stealing my bits, man.
Do you know what it is? It might just be the fact that, and it's to all women. So it might just be that I'm looking at that going, oh, maybe I could have got some pussy if I did a good joke. It could be that. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to look at all angles. It definitely wasn't. I'm terrified of women. You have literally seen me around women.
It is. Am I allowed to talk about you?
Yeah, I went to a strip club.
Yeah, so
just me and a couple of friends.
Sean came into a strip club that I used to work in, and it's fantastic. One thing that I enjoy about comedians is I'm a very anxious person on stage. I do like push-ups and shadow box. You like backstage, you think I'm going to get into a fight, but it's because I've got all this nervous energy because I don't think the crowd will like me. That's also another thing. Having this accent in Glasgow, as soon as I go up, I've got to work even harder for them to like me because people immediately think I'm really posh or I'm English. So I've got that wee extra, like, 20 seconds or so where they need to like me because otherwise I will.
But that sucks because they like see the whole thing is like, so I've obviously spoke to a lot of people down south, various fucking industry people, whatever, and they always say, go get a dialect coach, you Scottish cunt.
Yeah. Did I actually say that?
No, they didn't call me a cunt, but that's basically
that's the least offensive part of it.
If they did, I'd be like, fucking amen, brother. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, game recognised game. No, but like, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I love being Scottish. Like, I am so overly Scottish. Like, clearly I am a ginger man. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, like, for our career, I don't give a fuck if you think my accent's gay because I'm putting on a bit clearer so my comedy can translate universally. Don't change your accent. No. Fuck all of them.
Also, the thing is, I'm not posh. I'm a bouncer that lives in the East End of Glasgow. Bam. Yeah, but I've just got that. I just don't have a Bammy accent and I dress like I'm fucking trailer trash.
Right. Talk to me about from, like, because, so, were you well off when you were younger then? Would you say well off if you lived there?
Just normal, I would say.
For that area?
Just very normal. You know, went to Disneyland once, went to Spain once. You know, like that kind of thing. But it's just... You went through what everybody should go through? Yeah, I went through probably what was quite a normal life. I wasn't I probably had quite a good life. I'm not doing it. I'm not trying to downplay that, but I'm not. My dad's from Glasgow, and he didn't like me saying I or no or having a Scottish accent because he thought it would not translate well for future careers. So he made me kind of speak more properly.
So your dad basically looked out for stand-up and went, nobody's going to understand these.
Yeah, there's not a fuck chance. Because the thing is, my dad's Glaswegian, but he didn't want me in using any of those kind of slang. So now I actually do say I and no, but I do say it like I've got that weird kind of slight newscaster-esque voice.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
But so when going to school, so you went all the way through high school.
Yes.
Up there.
Aye.
Then. So what was that experience then for you? Like, so primary school, because you're an only child, you're a people pleaser. So how are you managing to like make friends then? You know what? It
was a nice enough area. There wasn't really any bullying. Your friends from nursery, because there's no. It's not something I knew happened. Like in Glasgow, people get to almost choose their high school to an extent.
It's a divide,
Yeah. We there's just one high school.
So usually decided on what football team you like.
Yes.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. See, we don't have it there. Like everyone from the 4 towns around us, everyone goes to the same high school. So everyone in primaries all go to the same high school. So that's what it was.
It was grow up together.
Yeah, it was nice. There's no big divide. There's no football's not as much of a thing up there. No one's got a battery if you're a Celtic fan or a Rangers fan.
Usually I like skiing.
Don't
imagine there's much rivalry in that.
Skiing and shinty. Shinty is actually
what is shinty?
Shinty. Imagine hockey with bigger sticks and less rules.
That sounds even better.
It's fantastic.
No padding.
Yeah, no. You can wear a helmet, but I think it's generally frowned upon. Yeah.
It's a sense of homosexuality.
It's definitely one of these. I'm glad it's a podcast where we can speak so freely about this. But I should have known that. I've known you long enough.
So, what was your sport then growing up?
Oh, I was a fat kid.
You were fat?
I was that wee fat dorky into RuneScape. Shout out RuneScape, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty.
You fucking virgin, mate.
Yeah, oh mate, no pussy.
You and
none.
Robin?
Yeah, weirdly actually.
Two of them hottest dudes I know, mate. Slinging nothing but dick. No, they're not obviously, but you know what I mean. Two guys that should be slinging dick, and you are virgins.
You know the thing is, we were very much like a less cringy in-betweeners kind of group, our pals. Like, we were just the guys that weren't popular, weren't unpopular. We'd like, you know... Yeah, just normal, very normal in the mill. You wouldn't remember us kind of guys. And I think everyone also thought I was autistic for years because I couldn't really chat to people. I wasn't good with eye contact. And then at the age of 20, I got a job in a bar in Inverness, and a really busy bar, and it kind of forces you to chat to people that are total strangers, drunk people. It's a loud environment. And then eventually people are like, oh, you're not autistic, you just weren't properly socialised in any way, which is really, really funny because I thought something was wrong with me. And then they were like, yeah, you just needed to talk to more people outside of your 1,200 person town.
So what was the first job then for you to realise that? Where did you go, like, from your hometown?
I had so many shit jobs. So I was a painter and decorator when I came straight out of high school, but I was terrible. I was stoned all the time, so I got fired.
That's like a requirement, though.
Yeah,
like, as a painter, they're all alcoholics.
Well, see, here's the thing. That would be fine, but I remember my boss coming in. All right, well, it was the guy under my boss because he was warning me of my boss was coming. He was like, Rod, this is a great A4 bit of wall you've done, but you will notice the other apprentices have done 3 each. Because I'd be sitting there just going, this is the, like, you know, like so much paint, it's almost like coming, it's making the room smaller.
Stoned, oh mate.
Just couldn't hack it.
I have been there, mate, numerous times.
Yeah, it was, you know what it was? It's because people don't smoke joints where I'm from. It's all buckets.
Oh mate, so you're fucked.
Yeah, so you're absolutely flying.
Yeah, like, that's like one extreme to the other. It's not like, it's not even just like a wee, it's huge.
Yeah, aye.
Oh, mate.
And then
when was you, like, what was your first experience then, like, with weed? And you wouldn't even think, like, a place like that would fucking do shit like that.
Well, that's the thing. The weed's really fucking shit. So you end up just smoking loads of it because there's just, you know, like, there's not like where someone will randomly offer you. It's just always your mate's older brother. The first time I got stoned was 6th year of high school. I snuck away with Sam. I can call out Sam because he's a criminal. I'm about to say this is the least bad story about you. But we went to another friend from school, and I'd never smoked a cigarette, or vapes weren't a thing back then, and I didn't know what a bucket kit was, or thought it looked really cool. So they filled me a big bucket of green, and I think that ended up just putting me down the wrong path for about 3 years. So I went, oh well. You know, the teachers say weed's bad, but all I've done is eat loads of quavers. So they were wrong about that. And then eventually it's like, so I'll try ecstasy because they might be wrong about that. And then I tried ecstasy. And then it's not popular to say, I think weed was the gateway drug, but also just because I was hanging out with people that did shit tons of drugs. Shout out to the boys. Yeah.
I just don't get it though. The gateway thing is like, I'm an avid stoner now, and I am an alcoholic. No, but like I am. Like I know I'm like I can't drink because the definition isn't it? It's like when you take alcohol and you can't like stop it, and it takes you you're out of control of who you are. Yeah, so that is me. Once I have a sip, I'm away binging for like 3-4 days.
I've never seen you drink. Actually, I've only ever seen you on gummies.
Yep.
Or had like a joint or something.
I avidly made the choice, like, because I think I was just basically denying it. Like I was denying that I was just an alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
Because, I think one of the standout moments was drinking 2 2-litre bottles of vodka. First one with Coke, second one straight, then I spewed blood.
Yeah.
After that...
What vodka was, out of curiosity?
Oh, it was like Smirnoff, mate, just...
You Tory. Where's the Glens in?
Sorry, guys. Yeah. I'm literally the most bam ever, too. That's
you're super bam.
But and then that's when I kind of came to the conclusion, like, it was like Christmas.
Aye.
And I'd basically... my brother had like been like, oh, just help yourself to whatever. Like, 'cause it's Christmas, alcohol, whatever. And then I'd realised, oh yeah, but I've drank a full bottle of gin.
Yeah.
And I've only been in the house an hour.
That's impressive.
Yeah, but then I go, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. Like,
I think the problem with things like I think so. I've worked in bars as a bartender and bouncer for the last 10 years, and I think the problem is people have a very strict definition in their head of what an alcoholic is. An alcoholic is someone that drinks almost every day, may drink in the morning, things like that. So a lot of people say they don't have a problem with alcohol, but if you go out, I don't know, one night a week and get absolutely plastered blackout, which is what I used to do 4 or 5 nights a week. But I was very aware of my problem with it. But people have this thing, they go, no, I'm not drinking every day, I drink once a week, so I'm not an alcoholic. It's like, yeah, but every time you drink, you spew all over yourself and you have to get taken. Yeah, it's just a different form of alcoholism. And I think that's a big problem you have in the UK, particularly in Scotland, particularly in Glasgow, is there's a lot of people that are very anti-drug, including weed, and they go, I can't believe people put that shit into my body, and then they just drink until they fucking pass out. So it's one of these weird things where there's almost people go, yeah, you're doing a drug, but I'm drinking my drug, so it's different, it's better.
Yeah, yours is way worse.
Yeah, yours is way worse. But I think people do that with almost every drug, because alcoholics think people that do coke are dumb and drug addicts. People that just smoke weed don't like alcoholics, and then you get people that don't drink at all, and then they judge stoners to get stoned every day. And there's this weird thing where we've almost got everyone's got their own hierarchy of what drugs are.
It's like, no, we're all junkies and alcoholics, guys. Yeah. Like, we just need to figure out that one doesn't ruin our life.
Well, that's the thing, is some people can drink and be totally fine. There's a guy called the Grey Fox from my area. He's like, I think he's in his 60s now, and he used to come to raves with us when we were like 18, 19, and he realised he couldn't drink. He had an issue with alcohol, but everything else was fine. So he could smoke, he could do coke, he could do speed, he could do ecstasy, and he had that all under control. So he would come out with us and he'd do all of that, but he just never ever have a drink. So some people... it's weird.
So he's a legend, what you're saying.
It's fucking, we'd all be hanging and he'd go climbing up fucking mountains the next day, man. But you do get people... Some people can't have anything. Some people will abuse whatever substance they can get their hands on, but some people are fine on everything, and one thing is they're like kryptonite to an extent.
Yeah, well, you notice, like, the thing is, from every alcoholic, like, you end up being addicted to caffeine or something that stimulates it.
It's
I think, like, Dave Attell drinks about fucking like 20 cups of coffee a day.
Dave Attell goes through a crazy amount. I think you get a lot of people, and I've got friends in AA, so they often also smoke cigarettes and they drink a shit ton of coffee because it's an addiction they can have that they have some level of control over.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't like alcohol, because I change. Like, I become overly sexual. And I'm not.
You become sexual?
Yeah, really? And
that's terrifying, because for anyone who doesn't know Sean is 5'6" and 165 kilos.
I'm not that big.
He can bench with 400 kilos. So the idea of you becoming overtly sexual is quite scary.
It was so weird, right? I'm terrible at describing things, right? Because the first time I described this was to my therapist, and the way I said it, I went, I think I get too rapey. She went, take a step back. She went, what do you mean rapey? And I went, well, when I'm out, I says, like, I want to, like, talk to girls more, and, like, I want to kiss them, and, like, you know, have consensual sex. And she went, that's not the definition of rape. She went, what do you mean rapey? She went, don't tell MD that. And I went, right, okay. She went, you just do what everybody does. They kind of let their guard down, their hair down, like whatever, when they're drunk. And I was like, yeah, but I don't like that, because I'm not, like, I'm obviously sexual with a partner, but I'm not overly sexual in obviously, I mean, like, banter with the bros, but I mean in a general term of, like, when I'm out, like, to nightclubs. I mean, fuck, you see me in the strip club, like, I just can't, I don't know what it is.
So I'm just going to throw it there, just off at Sean's strip club. I just remember a girl dancing on stage, and I was watching from the DJ box, and then she, like, you were trying to talk to her whilst music's playing, and she's, like, spinning a pole, so she sexually tries to, like, kind of go over to you, and then she looks at you, makes a face at me. I don't know what's happened. And she comes over and went, your friend beckoned me over on stage and just went, you're doing really good. And I was like, God, he's autistic.
She is a bad bitch, man, and that was so funny to me.
Shout out to Sasha.
So funny to do that, though, because
it was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
Part of me, like, was like, yeah, she is doing a really good job, but if I tell her that in this circumstance, it's way funnier.
Yeah, well, I like it. You committed to the bit. Often, like, because you're very, very funny on stage, but the things I've laughed at most is just you in real life, because some people kind of turn it off. they've got a stage presence to turn it off, and they're a normal person. You're just full blown funny, autistic constantly. It must be fucking shattering, to be honest.
No, that's why I need and it is true. I think a lot of people don't realise that. Like, I do go home exhausted and depressed.
You've been doing bits all day, and then you're by yourself. You're
I'm so sad all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly so I think that's the one emotion that I can feel all the time.
What sadness?
Mate, I'm actually I'm obviously very depressed, mate. I'm a very depressed individual, and that's why it's I always find that with stand-ups, like the comics. See, the more you talk to them, a lot of them are very adamant that they aren't depressed, and I'm like, no. I was like, mate, how many happy days do you have in the week?
Yeah.
And people go, oh, maybe 2, and I went, yeah, you're depressed. I went, you're meant to have I went, realistically, 4 and 5 should be good.
Yeah.
I went, obviously the way humans regulate emotions, it says you go through a wee bit of sadness and a wee bit of a day, but I'm like, maybe if you remember a loved one, but I'm like, I'm sad all the time.
I think there's I'm going backwards hat. Like it's
Let me tell you something.
It's the equivalent of doing the backwards sitting in a chair, like a cool teacher.
Sorry, I've got 5.
Okay. I think a big problem with why a lot of comedians might even appear depressed, because some will be depressed, but also I think the thing is a lot of comedians, from the ones that I know, they drink quite a lot or have some other substance abuse issues. A lot of them just spend a lot of times in bars, so I think a lot of it might be a mix up between depression and they're just living a life that isn't particularly fulfilling to them. And also stand-up is very, very difficult to get far in, because there's one thing I didn't realise is quite how much stand-up there was. Like, the first time I did it was the Monkey Barrel in Edinburgh, so the Monday free-for-all, and then when I joined the forum on Facebook, I was like, oh, there's open mics fucking everywhere. I didn't realise how many people are trying it. So I think you got a lot of people doing open mics, chasing a dream, not getting paid. If they live outside of a city, they've got to get a bus in, they've got to spend money. They spend money to go do 5 minutes, sometimes to an empty room, do new stuff where they get no laughs because it's not worked, and then go back. So they're just down money. Because you know yourself, if you've travelled in, done a room that's gone really badly and came back, you went, I've wasted sometimes 3-4 hours, including travel, going to a place to basically be told I'm a failure and lose money from it. And I think that does wear on a lot of people. And I think it's why you have a lot of people that drop out of comedy as well.
Yeah, well, that's the people who don't want it. Because I don't think about that
enough.
So see, any time, I've said this numerous times, I would spend 20 grand to do 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I can't stop. I just can't stop. It's it's just the toxic ex, mate, that you can't stop going back to. I love it. But the thing is, I never ever didn't love her. Do you know what I mean? I've never not loved stand up. There's been one time, and it was nothing to do with the actual physical of stand up. I think you can let a lot of the politics and the bullshit get to you.
Yeah.
Just the outside. Comics are emotional people, and we're overly sensitive, and we just sometimes they just bitch.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when I get my fucking brain scrambles, mate. I go ape shit. I can't fucking stand this pish. I just need direct. I need, do you like me? Yes or no? Why? That's the two things I need to know.
The middle ground's confusing, I think.
I don't get you did this on stage. You go, nope, me as a person. That's what you need to analyse. When you're a comic, a comic going to another comic, act, yeah, cool, critique my act all day, critique the act and judge it away, but then...
Because that can be helpful.
But that's what I'm saying, that's fine, but then when you come to me and if you know me as a person, and then you start going, oh, because you said that joke, that means you are that definition.
Yeah,
crazy.
I think that's something as well that I've actually I don't do particularly dark stuff, but when I do slightly go towards it, that was the thing at the stand when I made my joke that just referred to the guys.
You need to be allowed, though. You should be allowed. It's it's a comedy club, man. The whole point of us is we're meant to joke about everything, but then you're meant to because it's so horrific. I can't imagine the hardship those people are going through. Yeah. But guess what? It's so sad that I have to try and make it a bit lighter, man.
Also, it doesn't actually. So the joke I said, I basically described the McDonald's in the Four Corners, the Gaza.
Oh, it's amazing, but it's a great reference because it's so true.
Yeah, like the Gaza Strip or the low life expectancy. It was just a throwaway joke, And if people don't like the joke, it's fine. I don't mind if people don't like my jokes. But the woman came up screaming at me in front of everyone, and then was telling me about the colour of my skin and where I'm from and how terrible it is. And I was like, all of this is true, but
not relevant.
Yeah, but me making the joke hasn't, like, it wasn't like Israel was about to stop bombing, and then they went on TikTok and went, they've got a good point. We need to keep this shit up.
Yeah. We see the McDonald's reference. Dynamite.
Yeah, aye. We can't let McDonald's
let's blow
actually.
another hospital up for that one. Thank fuck Roger Gunn referenced the four corners to Gaza because we were needing to blow up more.
Yeah, I was about to say we were really losing hope, so we needed an entire unknown Scottish comedian to make
That's
a reference.
the whole point, I know. Like, it's just ridiculous. Obviously, like people like Jimmy Carr, Dave Chappelle don't help it because you go, being woke is actually a great thing.
Yes.
Because you're a progressive person.
Yeah.
But you can't be like, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be joked about because the what was the term? Jimmy Carr said it on David McIntosh's podcast. Actually, it was like when people say the term punching down, you're going, oh, so you're saying they're beneath us?
Yeah, aye.
What these people are? No, like, everyone's equal to me in my eyes. So
it's like performative activism, which is awful. Like that woman really thinks she made a point, but she purposely waited. She saw me outside twice. She waited till I went in, so there was like 200 people in there because it wasn't the need to tell me off; it was the need for everyone to see her telling me off.
It was hard needing to put
fuck
on,
that lady.
She had to put on a performance about your performance.
Yes.
The irony.
Yeah.
Also, we should not have been discussing all this bullshit, but I need you back on because I have so many fucking questions.
No, that'd be great, man. I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
Thank you.
I spoke about myself too much, but
it's okay. But it doesn't exclusively
doesn't
need to exclusively
I'm an
be
emotional
about.
wreck, mate. I need to go back to therapy. I've not been in a month. That's probably why.
Well, I went to therapy right before this, so the advantage I've had is I came in here feeling fucking great.
Oh, mate, you're zen.
Yeah.
You're great.
Yeah.
But, mate, I cannot wait to get to know you even more, mate. Like, I genuinely love you.
Likewise, man. I love you too.
You're a very great guy.
Thank you, mate.
You're all right at comedy.
At times.
I'm not bitter about that situation at all still. No, but genuinely, I love you so much and I wish you all I genuinely wish you the best and I will be seeing you soon again.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much.
But,
cheers.
Thanks a lot, man. And it's great to be here at Let's Have It Productions.
I'm about to say, this is such a cool studio, man. This is actually excellent. It's very, very professional. Looks very, very cool.
Shit.
I know, man.
What a shit.
Yeah.
I love this place. And the man that owns it is an absolute legend.
Ah, mate, it's fantastic.
Great story. And
really
anybody,
appreciate
man,
that.
you need to check out the entire channel. Anyway, I'm going to shut the fuck up now.
Thanks, guys.